But Caitlin Clark, huge in the news this weekend.
I'm going to stand by my thought of weeks ago. Bullied, taken advantage of, taking the hits that go along with being the young star of the game. These are all good things, and I'll tell you why. Because we're talking about it.
Well,
every day you're talking about the WNBA and Caitlin Clark is a good thing for the WNBA and Caitlin Clark.
As I discussed with Iowa Sam over the weekend, if it's the drama and the WWE antics that pull people in, then you're right. It's all great. It's all gravy. But there's a few ways to look at the plays over the weekend. Kennedy Carter with the cheap shot, body check, hip check. It's like the meme goes. It really is. I saw this meme of Caitlin Clark is Nancy Kerrigan and the WNBA is basically Tanya Harding. And that is how I see it. But she's what the WNBA has been waiting for all these years, so who cares how it's packaged? It's counterproductive to be hating on this girl in this way, because I think it's a little bit more than, let's give it to the rookie. It's not that. There's some hatred and envy and jealousy behind all of this. And
Big Mike, who runs this place.
Yes, I agree with him as well.
He was quick to shut me down. The guy who runs this place? Big Mike was quick to shut me down because I said, is this a case of, because not to be stereotypical, but you have been hearing people say, is it a case of women just being rough on other women where maybe men aren't as mean to other men? And he's like, no, that's not it all. I don't believe that.
He said men do it too. It's just labeled as competitive. So I do see it as counterproductive and torn on how to react when you see it happening.
Do you expect
But I do agree, hey, men do it. We just label it different. It's men being competitive. Oh, man, did you see what happened? And we get excited about it. With the women, we're still processing and trying to figure out, as we all jump on the WNBA and the story, how do we feel about it? And you just got to look at it as competitive. Is it dirty? Is it fair? No, but those things happen in the NBA as well. And whether or not you see it as just competitive or catty behavior or jealousy, it's counterproductive no matter how you view it, because she's trying to uplift the WNBA, and they're trying to tear her down.
As DP pointed out on our morning show today, she dishes it out too. She's not innocent in all of it. But what's catty to me are the post-game antics from the other WNBA players.
Yeah.
And just say, we're playing hard both ways.
Well, how about this? They refused to even address it and got fined.
That's cheap.
Right? Angel Reese and Kennedy Carter, they both got fined. And the fact that they're saying, what else does she bring to the game aside from a three-point shot? Does she need that much more? Steph Curry changed the NBA with his three-point shot. So, I don't know. I think she is getting some unfair treatment.
This is all great for the WNBA.
But it's all great for the WNBA.
I promise you, it's all great, because otherwise, who would care at this stage of the game? Who'd you say, Kennedy? Who?
Now you confuse me. Carter.
Chili cheese Kennedy.
Yeah.
No clue on planet
Kennedy
Earth.
Carter.
No,
She's known for being a bit of a bully.
This is no disrespect. So I don't want it to come across that way. But I never heard that name in my life until this incident, which means...
You thought it was Chili Cheese Kennedy.
Which means it's good for the WNBA. Play her clip after the game.
Chile Kennedy.
Good for her.
Carter.
I ain't answering no Caitlin Clark questions. Did she say anything to you? I don't know what she said. What'd you say to her? I didn't say anything. That's enough.
That's enough. She's good. By the way, and she didn't just body check her. She body checked her when the ball wasn't even in play. The ball was still in bounds. Angel Reese applauded it. We saw all that. But she also called her the B word. Ooh. And your boy Pat McAfee referred to her as that white bee. And he's getting a lot of criticism for it. But, hey, he's just referring to her the way everyone else is speaking about her in the WNBA.
I also like how she said, I'm not answering any questions, and immediately answers a question about Caitlin Clark. Immediately.
It is an ugly look. Even though you want to label it as competitive because men do it too, it's still not a good look.
It's weird, right? Because there's a sense of it that feels like there's a lot of jealousy.
There is.
But then at the same time, I mean, just because, now they have charter planes and this and that, are we supposed to all kiss her butt now? So it's probably everyone's torn between...
Yeah, because they should be grateful that someone's bringing this much attention to the league, or else the league wouldn't exist in 5 to 10 years. Let's wrap up this Caitlin Clark drama. At the end of the day, actually at the beginning, middle, and end of the day, if we're talking about it, it's good for the WNBA.
It's true.
So if a hip check here and there gets some press and it causes some drama and we're discussing it, It's all good for the WNBA, but it is coming from a place of jealousy and envy, and it's never a good look. Never a good look.
But jealousy and envy you could understand, because these women have worked their asses off. They're professional women basketball players, and they're thinking, now we got attention because of her. So I get
So
it. There's
what?
but there's a
At least it's
resentment
there.
and a jealousy, and maybe it's being acted out in a little check here, there, a little push here, there, a little trash talking. But again, on the flip, I said, do you expect everyone to roll out the red carpet and be like, thank you, Caitlin, our savior. We're not worthy.
Yeah, but even
We're
her
not
own
worthy."
teammates, Rich, even her own teammates weren't there at her defense.
How do you feel
when
about
she got
that?
checked. That was weak.
How do you feel about that, Iowa Samuel, that no one on the Indiana Fever jumped to her defense? That's like weak-ass teammates, no?
Yeah, they got a little wake-up call there.
For real, but they did have a nice win over the weekend. Then she stunk it up the next game.
Maybe she needs to call Tommy Pham for some advice.
Maybe. She spoke about being checked. Before we get to the phone calls, she spoke about it at the end of the game, if you want to take a listen.
Yeah, that's just not a basketball play, but, got to play through it. That's what basketball's about at this level. So I thought we've been really physical. We've missed some bunnies around the rim, and so hopefully those fall in the fourth, but really proud of our defense. I thought we played great defense so far.
And she had more after the game, if you want to take a listen.
It is what it is. I feel like I'm just at the point where you accept it and don't retaliate. Just let them hit you. Be what it is. Don't let it get inside your head and know it's coming. I think at this point, I know I'm going to take a couple hard shots a game, and that's what it is. Just stay in the game is saying what's important.
That's where I disagree, though. As Marvelous Marvin Hagler said, never let him see you sweat. I agree with that.
That's why
Don't let
that's
him-
why the pits are one of the area you have to clean.
Yeah,
all
the
time.
hot spots.
Yeah, the hot spots. Yeah.
Got to wear your right guard. Remember your dad would use that can of it? I'd be coughing around my dad and putting his deodorant on.
Can you
But
find
anyway,
spray deodorant anymore?
I don't even think they sell it anymore. I don't
It's
know.
toxic.
But you got to retaliate.
And then
eventually you
and then-
have to retaliate. So that's where I disagree with her.
His dad had the right guard in front of one mirror, and the other mirror, his mom had the Aqua in that hairspray. There's a lot of
A lot of holes in the ozone there.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Covino family.
So I do disagree with that. I disagree with not retaliate. Somebody needs to retaliate, or else they're going to keep doing it to
She
her.
needs a goon.
Yeah, she needs
Needs
what's
an
his name?
enforcer.
She needs
The fabulous
the meme,
Moolah.
the meme I sent you, Dreana Green.
yeah.
Oh, that's my guy Heavens. He made that one.
She needs the female Draymond Green to step up. Sean William Scott, the goon. So anyway, let's take your phone calls on Caitlin Clark. I do like Mike's take too, Mike who runs this place, where he said,
Who?
men do this all the time and we deem it competitive. True. But it is counterproductive for what she's bringing to WNBA, which is what they always needed, and that's eyes and interest.
And you're right. There's a lot of torn feelings, right? Like, should other players be thankful? But they're also going to be jealous, maybe a little resentful. Maybe a combination of all those things equals just a lot of confusion, right? Because you're not going to be going around kissing this girl's ass. And again, there's players that are like, yeah, she's the one.
I think the world's a little confused.
Think of
on
any
how to
industry.
deal with all this
Think
stuff.
of any industry, Danny G. If some new hotshot comes in and they're the ones that's changing the game, it's going to be hit with resistance.
Yeah. The take I loved the best over the weekend, and I saw this from several different people, you're not allowed to talk about the WNBA, Covino, or Rich, because you never watched until this point.
I see that as well, and I roll my eyes, and it's like, well, she's giving us reason to watch and to care. That's the whole point. No one else has done that. Yeah, there's been other greats, but we didn't care about them.
Yeah, and for all the people who ranted and raved about they need to make more money, more like the men, well, obviously, it's simple math. They need to earn more revenue and TV contracts to get more money into the players' pockets, and this is what starts that.
And like I said, who cares how it's packaged? Who cares who it is at that point? This is your time to shine. All right, so, and you know what? The best way to shine is to be her ultimate competitor and playing tough, not playing dirty. So, your thoughts on it to wrap it up, because we have other things to get to, but it was one of the bigger stories of the weekend.
I'm not being contrarian, because I really...
Well, there's so many ways to view these things.
I'd be lying if I said I had an incredibly strong opinion on this. But much like let's say some young hotshot. Let's say, remember when Bryce Harper entered the league and he had all the eye black on and he was like, remember young Bryce Harper? Where
He was playing for Kiss.
Yeah,
He looked like Aiden Hutchinson.
yeah, like when there's some young hotshot, you might take a little extra shot on that quarterback or give Bryce Harper a little chin music. Sometimes when some young hotshot player enters any league, Connor Bedard in the NHL, there's a young player. What do people do? Sometimes there's a little like, all right, youngster, gonna check you a little bit.
Little initiation.
And again, I'm not saying it's right, but that's how I'm feeling about it. The same way you might hit a Bryce Young a little harder in the pocket than you would a veteran. I think that's what you're seeing with Caitlin Clark. Veterans being like, yo, okay, she's changing the game. Bam, little,
Dan Byer, you had a great way to put it over the weekend. It wasn't.
Are you secretly listening to Dan Byer's
Of course,
weekend
all
show?
the time. He's got the best takes on Fox Sports. DB, it wasn't hazing. It was something else. You called it something else.
Yeah, and it was Kerry Rhodes who came up with the term rite of passage. That's what it was.
There you go.
That's what Rich is describing right there. It's more of a rite of passage, and I get that. But I will tell you this, as far as strong stance, the more and more I see these cheap shots and the more I see people gunning after her, you could say it's jealousy, you could say it's just competition. It makes me root for her and more intrigued as a result. It really does. It makes me want to see her put it in everybody's face, dude. It makes me more of a fan.
In the face!
Yeah. The more I see that, and the more I see people bad-mouthing her and backlash and saying they don't want to talk about her and they're out to get her and they're doing this stuff and she's applauding that, dude, the more I'm behind Caitlin Clark. And I went from not caring at all to being like, come on, now I'm rooting for her. And I'm hitting up Iowa Sam over the weekend like, dude, because I'm getting more passionate. Now I'm Team Caitlin Clark where I wasn't before. So 877-99 on Fox, your thoughts on it. Let's wrap it up.
Actually, all the phones are lit.
Yeah, you know what? People
Dude,
love talking about it.
they're so lit. Danny, where do you want to start? You want to start with line one and work our way down?
Yeah, let's start with Johnny in Pennsylvania.
Johnny in PA, Covino and Rich. What's up, Johnny?
Hey, I want to say about this Caitlin Clark thing, I don't think everybody would understand how vicious women can be on women. I mean, it's downright a female thing where you're talking, I've never seen it except in the workplace, and it's, I mean, most married guys would know, most people who are in long-term relationships, it's downright female evil on female evil.
Okay, but Johnny,
you see people, females applauding.
All right, but hold on.
That she gets knocked down.
Food for thought, based on what Mike is saying.
Okay.
Our buddy Mike, who runs this place.
Who?
We saw Tommy Pham and Willie Contreras going at it this weekend, and Tommy Pham saying, "Yeah, that's why I fight on the off season, so I can F people up." And we're like, "Yeah, competitive." It really is. So. But I understand what you're saying, too. Women could be vicious. You know how we know? Because we're men, and we've dealt with it on the other side.
And it's not sexist to say, if you have a mom, a wife, a girlfriend, a daughter.
It's just food for thought.
Women and men are cut from a different cloth. And I'll give you the analogy. You've seen people say that
we're not used to seeing it.
A guy sees his buddy with a great wife.
Yeah.
And he'll be like, man, I really want a woman like that. They'll say women will see their girlfriend with a great guy and be like, I want that guy.
That's a Chris Rock thought.
Yeah, that's a Chris Rock thought.
That is true, because men and women are different. We also, so in other words, it's food for thought from our buddy Mike. It's just competition, right? But like our last caller just said, it's kind of hard to deny that men and women are different.
Of course.
So there's a little truth both ways.
And what do women love to talk about? I'm a girl's
Shopping.
girl.
Oh.
Sorry. I'm a girl. Women love to say, I'm a girl's girl. I got other women's back, and you're not seeing that. And I'm not saying it's a sexist thing. I'm saying that topic comes up when you talk about this.
It's fair to acknowledge that women are different.
Women love to
they
talk.
Just are.
I hear my wife and her girlfriends. They talk about which girls are girls' girls. It's a thing. David in Miami, what's up, man?
Hey, David.
Guys, I don't understand what's with these other women in the league. All of a sudden, they're getting chartered flights. All of a sudden, the New York team has a revenue of one game of $2 million. All they're doing is selling out arenas whenever she comes. And they don't like this. I've been a sports fan all my life. I cannot remember one great pro, starting with Lou Alcindor, Kareem, who came into the league where guys went after just him. Yeah, you had goons, but they were goons against everybody, not just one person. And these women, for whatever the reason is, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Don't they want to make more money?
It's the attention she's getting. It's they think they're better. It's she's white. It's a little bit of everything, unfortunately.
She's also a millionaire.
She's a millionaire.
Coming into the league.
She's making $30 million a year. They're making $70,000 a year.
Yeah.
There's so many factors, and it's kind of wild to see. And if you're not tuned in, all these conversations help a little bit.
Let me give you an interesting analogy. COVINO and I are best fit ever here at Fox Sports Radio, and I'm not just saying that.
It's true, yeah.
But we spent a hell of a lot of time at SiriusXM. We were at SiriusXM before Howard Stern.
Yep.
When he came to SiriusXM, the stock,
He went from, I think, 300,000 subscribers to like 30 million.
Yeah, within that 10-plus year period. So to say, that would have been like COVINO and I at SiriusXM at the time working for Maxim Radio being mad that Howard Stern came on board.
I mean, I eventually was mad that he was getting paid crazy amounts of money. But at the time...
But, I mean, he put eyeballs on satellite radio.
Absolutely.
He made your stock in 401k go up. All this stuff.
Was there any resentment
and by the way,
at all? Like, truly?
No,
about the money or anything?
You know why? Because it kept the ship afloat. The same way I said ship afloat, because that's what the WNBA needed. She's exactly what they needed, and people are mad about it. It's wild to watch. It really is.
Yeah.
What else do we got?
Let's go to David in Texas. David, you're
What
on
up,
with COVINO and Rich. Hey, buddy.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Yo, what do you
Got
think
a
about
quick
this?
question. I agree with you guys, everything like that. It's competitive sport, as WNBA telling her, welcome back, welcome home, rookie, some situation like that. But in a situation like this, I want to open up a little conspiracy theory.
Ooh.
During the Iowa game and Connecticut game, you had one of the Connecticut ex-players that is with the Fever team right now. And when UConn won the game, she was celebrating with UConn. Now her being teammates, don't you think that the Cardoza and her are talking and saying, hey, you know what? She's saying this about you guys or whatever, and conspiracy theory like that? What you guys think?
Dude, I know what you're saying. If these girls were like best pals playing together, now one of them's with Caitlin Clark, maybe this cattiness. I don't know. Again, you could say the same about men, though, right? Like, there's guys that played ball together in college, and when we get to the pros, let's go to Eddie in Indiana. Eddie in Indy, what's up, buddy?
What up, Ed?
Hey, I'm thinking of a recent NBA player that came in with a lot of hype, Alonzo Ball, and he got a pretty good welcome from Patrick Beverly there. I think he basically almost fouled out in the first quarter of the game. And I don't think Caitlin Clark necessarily has it in her physically to retaliate. I really just think her only move now is just to lay on the floor and just say, what are you guys doing, with her facial expression. I think that's all she's got right now.
Well, if moves will be made, I think Iowa Sam hit the nail on the head, too. You got to have someone there to protect her moving forward.
By the way,
continue allowing this sort of play against her.
Lonzo Ball, when he came in, let's just remind ourselves the difference. Caitlin Clark is sort of a softer spoken in general. Let's be honest. She's not like the most boisterous person. Soft spoken, 3-point star, gave attention to women's basketball. Lonzo Ball had the most loudmouth dad.
Yes.
That was doing media and interviews and talking about his sons are the stars.
Stay in your lane.
Lonzo Ball, LeVar, the dad, right? LeVar?
Yeah.
I'm out.
Really, put his kids at a disadvantage from the first tip.
LeVar looked like Tony. I thought Tony Terry had 3 sons in the NBA. Look up Tony Terry if you don't remember him. Tony Terry was an R&B star of the 90s. What's up, Dan Byer? I feel like
this is also every team, it feels like. This isn't just a one-off of a Patrick Beverly giving someone an initiation. This is, all right, what's the next team that's coming into town that's going to try to take a shot at Caitlin Clark? That's what this feels like. It's a league-wide thing. Because I was going to try to compare it to the Pistons.
Yeah.
When the Pistons were physical with everyone. But the Pistons were one team trying to form their identity. This feels like, and it's not every player in the league, but it sure seems that there's someone on each team that really has a problem with Caitlin Clark.
And know what I think it also is? You could say that this is a layer. Not that they're necessarily trying to be overly rough with her, but you don't think everyone that might be put in a position to guard her, you're one-on-one with Caitlin, it's their moment to shine as well.
Yes.
So they're going to play their hardest. Like if I told you, Covino.
That's what I said. For every Ali, there's a Joe Frazier.
Like,
someone could be that Joe Frazier in this moment and prove that they're even better than her, but you don't have to go this way about it.
Give me a random WNBA team that I wouldn't know.
The Washington Mystics.
Perfect.
They're 0-8.
The Mystics.
Worse than the Fever.
Whoever's on the Mystics, which, by the way, if I was in the pain cave of caves and had to name one player, I would die in the cave.
Whoever is on the Mystics.
So if I'm on the Minnesota Mystics.
No.
The Minnesota Lynx.
If I'm on the Minnesota Lynx.
There you go.
And it's my golden opportunity. You're going to be on ESPN tonight because you're playing the Fever? And I have a chance to guard Caitlin Clark. Yep. You don't think I'm playing the hardest I've ever played in my
you
life?
Can ball out without being dirty.
No, but I'm saying you're going to ball and you're going to be like, yo, I'm going to show her. You're going to play a little more physical. It'll be in your DNA to do it if you're a competitor.
Caitlin Clark game. They're like, oh, here we go. I'm gonna be on the news.
You know how everyone they always say the Chiefs, right? Everyone they circle that game on the calendar like that's our game against the defending Super Bowl champs. Every team is circling the Indiana Fever game as like that's our game.
And you know what it's doing, though? The Yankees are off tonight, right? And obviously the NBA Finals.
Oh, my God, what are you going to do?
No, but the NBA Finals doesn't start till Thursday.
What are you going to do?
So what did I do for the first time in forever? I looked up the schedule to see if Indiana was playing tonight.
Oh, I thought you were going to say go to the gym.
My girlfriend, no, I'm doing that too. I mean, but she's like, since when do you care about the WNBA? And I was like, since this. Since this. So
they played 3 days in a row, 3 nights in a row.
Yeah,
Right?
it's working. That is the positive out of all of this.
Drama show works. John and Indy. 3 more quickies, then we'll move on. John, Indy, you're on.
Well, I think it's kind of equivalent to Michael Jordan. Not saying that she is going to be Michael Jordan in a sense, but when Michael Jordan came out of college, you kind of knew about him, but you really didn't. But if you were in the moment, you know that he transformed what the sport is today, and no shoe contract would be as relevant, no contract, no commercials would be as relevant. So, I mean, they just got to piggyback on and ride the coattails of evolution. Do it suck that it's probably her face? I don't know, but you know, hey,
I'm sure there's women that are definitely like her face. Yeah, come on.
There's no question that there are women that are probably better than her, obviously better than her, but she's also a rookie in the league right now, so give her time to develop, and her team stinks. So I could see why people say, look, even in our business, in every business, there's someone that gets more attention than you, but you know you're better than. So I get that, but use that to fuel your fire. You don't need to cheapen your own worth by making flagrant fouls and playing dirty.
That's a good point.
To enhance yourself.
That's a good point. No matter what industry you're in, there's someone that gets more attention than you.
Of course, and I sit there every night too like, why them? We're better than them. But if it's for the greater good of everybody,
Brad,
then you got to understand that as well.
North Carolina, B-Rad. What's up, man?
Yeah, I'll tell you, the one thing I haven't heard much about that I think is a really glaring thing is that her own teammates have not backed her up.
Yeah, that is eye-opening. And even Iowa Sam was like, ooh, yeah. They're like, when she got hard checked, that's when some of the other women on the team should have stepped up instead of just watching her fall.
Yeah, that was very weak. I
did see some footage, though, you guys, where at the timeout, some of her teammates did come over and started chirping a little bit at the other team. So right in that moment, right when it happened, they didn't run over.
Maybe they're not used to it. They're a little in shock, too, right? I get it, but they have to step up next time.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing to pay attention to. The next time this happens, will they run over quicker?
I told you. Miss Clark needs to make a call to a guy I know, Mr. Pham.
What happens? Speaking of, what happens in baseball? Someone gets hit. What happens the next inning?
Retaliation.
The pitcher has his teammates back, and someone else gets hit. They have to show right away that they have her back, or else they're not a team at all.
Yep. Last one, Gardenia. Let's go to Lloyd to wrap it up, and then we play a game. Last one standing.
You might not have been there. You might not have visited Gardena, California.
Oh, Gardena?
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say Gardenia.
No, you made it all sexy.
Gardenia.
What's up, Lloyd?
Hey, what's going on, man? Hey, heavy is the crown. That's what I'm going to say first. Heavy is the crown. And when it comes to, basically Gardena, Compton, everything's around the corner. But anyway, heavy is the crown, man. I'm gonna bring a couple of people. Like just look at Kobe. Kobe was a young, you know what I'm saying. Everybody looked at Kobe. Oh, you're trying to be Magic. You're trying to be Jordan. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
man, and they beat Kobe up. Kobe had to have some fist fights. You understand what I'm talking about?
Heavy is the crown. And by the way,
you know what I think Lloyd's getting at, though? In the end, it made Kobe better and more competitive.
Yeah.
And that's the other positive and silver lining to the story. It's great for the WNBA, but it's only going to make her stronger, tougher, and better as a result. So they're really helping her in the long run. That's the truth, just as they did Kobe and other greats along the way.